Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel.
How are you?
We're back after I hope you've seen our video on the RV tour.
Yeah, the RV tour video. If you haven't, make sure you check it out. It'll be in one of these corners. I'll put a little card to it.
This is that one we promised you, give you a little insight on how somebody 25-year-old was
Able to get an RV.
able to get a fifth wheel and full-time RV live.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of wonder or say like, wow, you're a little bit young to be having a fifth wheel that size and that new. And I'm just like, well, I'm living proof. It can be done.
And no, it wasn't our YouTube channel. It ain't that successful yet, but
I wish.
with your guys' help, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, that helps. But with that being said, let's go to him. He can kind of give you a backstory on what how the whole process played out.
All right, so if I don't look at the camera all the time, it's because it's kind of like an interview right now. As you can see, we're kind of set up, so I might not look, but it's nothing against you guys. So I knew I was going to have to find a new place because I was relocating to Florida. So my girlfriend got a job offer in St. Pete, so I was like, I need to be in that area. So I started looking for apartments, and I was hitting like $2,000 a month just for the rent, not counting utilities, and they were like disappearing like hotcakes. I mean, it would go online within the next day, 82 applications, and a lot of them were requiring me to physically be in the area to look at it. Like they didn't want to rent to people that were just state jumping. So that was a pain. And then I know that Jimmy Sr. here already does the full-time RV living, and it kind of changed my perspective because, some people think like fifth wheels and campers are small and not like permanent, like long-term solutions. So seeing that, I'm like, it's a possibility. So I did have the advantage of, I don't have like great credit, but I have decent credit. I did kind of prep my credit prior to this without knowing I was going to do the fifth wheel kind of thing. I was prepping to either get a new house, rent, just clear up some debt. So how far back do we need to go?
We were you were paying off debt knowing that you were going to have to do something like this.
Yeah, because I'm 25, so I'm kind of at that cusp of like maybe getting a place, so you had to make sure you were financially set for that.
Well, when you first did it, you started preparing for an apartment. That's kind of how you start doing, knowing you were going to try to do an apartment. But then after seeing the prices, you were like, well.
Yes, the prices were very scary. I mean, I would be splitting it with like my girlfriend, but still like 2,000, like still putting out like even 1,000 a person is just.
Yeah, and in the savings, we're talking thousands. We're not talking a couple.
Yeah, it's not
bucks.
little. It's not little bits of money. So I was prepping for that kind of transition, and then it kind of just happened from there. I finally made the kind of commitment. I was like, okay, we're gonna do the RV thing. So then that put me to where I was actively looking for an RV. So my first tip for any of you guys is if you're looking for an RV, it's not like a 1 week turnaround or a 1 month turnaround. You're going to need a few months to actually make sure everything's set. You find the RV you want, you can go look at it. I was able to do it in 1 month, but it was a whole hassle.
A lot of stuff going on for that.
Yeah, there was a lot because
there was even a hiccup in between there.
I had a huge hiccup. Like 2 days before I was leaving New York to come to Florida, they told me like, sorry, we can't give you the RV. We don't have the title right now. It'll take a few weeks. And I'm like, dude, I leave in 2 days. Like, I need something to fix. So I actually found a completely other camper, a little bit more expensive, just a hair bit more.
Yeah, a little bit, like $5,000 more or something.
Yeah, it's a little bit more, but like I could get that one. Everything was kind of like set for that. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, like sign me up. And I did buy this RV sight unseen besides pictures. I
don't recommend that either unless you're in the bind like he was.
Yeah, I had to be down here for a start date of a job, so it's like, okay, I got to do something, and I didn't want to stay in hotels for like 6 weeks, and it would have been.
And you are at the mercy of them telling you everything's working fine, this and that, and he was in a crunch, so he had no time to look at it. It's just how it worked out.
Yeah, the first one I was looking at was Sanibel.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it Prime Time?
Yeah,
it was a Prime Time Sanibel.
Wide body or something.
Yeah, like it was a pretty good looking one from what I saw. It looked like it had a little damage on the outside, but nothing significant. So you were kind of getting that discount.
Yeah.
And we're kind of handy how to fix it up. So we're like, oh yeah, this is great. And then of course, 2 days before I leave, miraculously the title's just not there.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have to get a title from somebody. So that was very, very stressful, as he can tell you, because I was chatting with him the whole time about how stressed I was.
Well, that's how he decided to do that. Now let's give you a little bit of the maybe how he prepared for it financially to even try something like this at his age, because most people don't buy a fifth wheel and do this at his age, especially because he doesn't even have a truck to pull it.
Yes, I have what, an F-150, but it's not pulling this behemoth.
So that's letting you guys know, if you are thinking about doing this at a young age, you don't technically need a truck to pull it.
Oh yeah, there's services and stuff like
The
that.
dealer
that
will deliver it.
But I would only probably go that route if you know you're going to be stationary for
Right.
long periods of time. Don't think you're just going to keep having somebody move it every month, because that's going to get
Costly.
pricey.
Yeah. So for his situation where he's stationary, they deliver for you. He won't even need to move it that often.
Yeah.
And then if it did happen for like a hurricane or something, he called me up. I'll come down and pull him out of the way. Or there's other services like he said.
Yeah,
will do
that can take care of that. So prepping. Well, I think we should get some drinks first. You want to take a quick pause? Because I need some water.
We're going to get some drinks. Do with you back shortly.
Well, I'm back. We're back. Had to get some drinks. There's a lot of talking.
He's going to give you a little bit of the financial background on where he was at the point when he decided to do it. So, you know, if you're thinking about doing the same thing, you could say, you can kind of judge where you are compared to him or where he was at the point.
Well,
at the
yeah,
time.
to give you guys an idea. So let's just start where I am full-time employed. I work for a nonprofit. I make roughly by the end of the year close to $40,000 a year, so I'm not like rolling in the dough.
He's pretty recently out of college, only a few years.
Yeah, I'm like what, two years out of college, a little bit hair after, because I just passed my 2 year at work. So yeah, I do have student loan debt, so don't think I just completely sailed through. I got a chunk of that.
He also has some previous credit, like he had his truck loan.
Oh yeah, I had my truck loan. I refinanced my truck at one point, so I mean, from at least a credit perspective, a loan was paid, and then I have another one. I had a personal loan that I had completely paid off, and I have another personal loan too that I'm currently paying on. I think I have 5 or 6 credit cards, and that's all throughout the span of, I think I got my first credit card at like 18. Like as soon as I was in college, I got a Capital One card, I think. Then went to Discover and a whole bunch of other ones. So my credit history is about 6 to 7 years old. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're young and you're doing this, you're going to need some credit history or a decent cosigner. I was able to do it myself, but they said if you don't have credit history of at least like 6 years, a lot of places won't even consider you. So just keep that in mind. What else do I want to add in there? Credit-wise, I did have some debt before I worked on the last like year and a half paying off debt. So like any extra money I had from work, I was just chunking off my credit card debt because I had some when I finished college, because I was commuting and using money for gas and food, and I couldn't work a full-time job easy just because I was going back and forth. So I worked to pay that off. By the time I went to get the RV, my credit score was around a 745 to 750 with Experian, because I know there's FICO and all those other ones. So just going off of Experian, because I know that's what quite a few banks use. Let me think. Anything else crazy?
Not really. That's where you were at that point when you decided to give it a shot.
All right.
So it took a little bit of time, like a week at least, where he's checking all the RV dealers. Because that is the other thing. Being in Florida, he was looking in Florida for the RV.
Yes.
Because he had no way to pull the RV down there easily.
And
so
it would have cost a big chunk of change. Some of them will add that into the cost of your financing, but you don't want to finance $1,000 just for them to move your RV.
So he was looking in that confined area of where we were, or where he is.
Yeah, so I was looking in Florida, like the Ocala and Tampa region.
Kind of most of Florida, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much Florida. I was just looking for an RV in Florida. Found that Sanibel. I was pretty much set on that. It was supposed to be where they would send me the paperwork, I would sign it.
But another caveat to that is, out of all the ones he looked at, there was only maybe a handful that met what he needed, being a fifth wheel and the price range.
Oh yeah, I do want to add with that too, like looking for it and the price range. I didn't want to go new because I didn't think there was a way. Because just to throw that out there, I didn't know how much I could finance. Like I didn't do like a pre-thing first. I was trying to ballpark it where I didn't want to go crazy expensive where I was going to be paying on this for the rest of my life. And I didn't want to go so low that I wasn't going to be comfortable living. So I had a few things I wanted in the RV, like the island, good storage space, things of that nature. I kind of settled on the $35,000 to like $40,000 range was where I was good. I went online, did some like RV loan calculators to try to ballpark my payment to see where I wanted to be. So did that, started looking for RVs. There's not a lot that are in that price range that are newer.
Well, especially now the RVs are kind of
they're
slim
bouncing.
pickings. Yeah, there's kind of that shortage. Everybody's deciding RV. It is cheaper anyway.
It is. And then being younger, I needed a little bit of a newer RV to be able to get financing because they'll finance it longer term. If I went with an older one, depending on how cheap it was, they might have let me get it, but it wouldn't have been termed as long. The payment would have been higher. I was trying to keep the payment down.
Plus, you had to have a fairly decent sized down payment.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. That's one thing too. If you're on the younger side and you're getting them, the RV dealership, they want like you to have a substantial down payment. I was trying to get a down payment of like $2,000 to $3,000 at max. I didn't want to put a lot because I didn't want to put out a lot of cash that I might have needed later on. I didn't want to rake up any more like credit card debt really. So, went with that. I ended up having to, we'll branch into that in a second because we can go over some numbers of the camper. So we were looking in Florida, slim pickings, did happen to find that Sanibel, was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, nice.
It was kind of set up where I looked at the pictures, I talked with them. They were going to send the papers up to New York. I was going to just sign for it before seeing it, and then I was going to have him take a look at it, do the walkthrough, and then they were going to bring it to the RV resort that I'm staying at. And then, none of that happened.
Not at all.
They couldn't find the title. Sorry, we can't sell it to you unless we have the title.
Best laid plans,
And of course, it's 2 days before I leave. So that was stressful. And then I did find the other one. It was a little bit more money. I mean, they did do a decent job trying to show me some other ones. Who's I dealing with? Rick from General RV Salesman. Yeah, the Ocala one. I mean, shout out to you. You did a lot to try to help me out at that. He was on the phone with me talking, even on days off, trying to get me situated. So, shout out to him. Found that, and then, I'll go with some other stuff onto that. So, started to drive down from New York to come here. Knew I wanted that RV, stopped in Ocala to actually sign for the paperwork, and then the next day had the showing or the walkthrough of the camper.
That was this current one, not the Sanibel.
Because the Sanibel, that was done. So we found the Keystone Avalanche, signed the paperwork, did the walkthrough, and had it brought to the RV resort the same day, so he didn't have to drive it. They actually delivered it here, which was nice. Let the maiden voyage have them do it.
That's what we're saying. You don't technically need a truck right away. I mean, that saves you all that money up front. If you're just looking to supplement living here instead of an apartment, it's going to be a lot cheaper, and you don't need a truck. They'll bring it for you.
Yeah, it depends how much you move. If you're not moving a lot, I mean, paying a company, I forgot how much it was, how many cents a mile or how many dollars a mile to move it. But if you're staying in a close range, I mean, if you had to move it twice a year, it wouldn't be that much if you were close.
I don't know, I'm sure we're going to miss things in this video. Don't be afraid to
please throw in the comments. I will spend some time going through these because I know there's a lot to take in, or you want to know my certain circumstance for something, and I can try to help you out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that this could help, so don't be afraid to ask. Another thing is picking your area where you're going to go. Because if you're going south, because you're living in an RV full-time makes it easier, you really got to plan that out, because from November to the end of April is their busy season. Yeah, so if you're thinking like, oh, hey, I can move from so-and-so to Florida in November, no. Nope. Every spot that you find down, it's going to be reserved. If you're thinking about looking in November, you're 6 months too late. Yeah, so definitely if you're going to move a little bit earlier in the year to give yourself time. And do expect, too, that at least here in Florida, the summer months will be cheaper for like lot rent, and then the winter months they do spike up. So if you can get a lot for a year or a longer span, you'll save quite a bit of money. Especially if you're going to be stationary, there are a lot of them that will do a year at a time. They'll give you a cheaper monthly. So keep that in mind too if you're looking. Yep.
I think that was a good point to bring up. Like, don't just think you can leave free willy-nilly at any time. I kind of got here where it was...
Yeah, you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I was set for the summer, set for the summer until October 1st. Yeah, October... Was it? No, I think I get through October. Yeah, November was the
it starts November, right?
Yeah, so November would be the winter months. And then when I was here, so as soon as I got down here within the first week, I was looking for a lot or a place to stay for the winter. So like at the RV resort I'm at, every few days going there, hey, you have an opening? Like, hey, and so you might have to shop around.
Yeah, people do cancel, and he came down knowing he's going to have to look immediately. He was a little late to the game, but...
I was in time enough where it was still possible. I still had before the winter months start, a few months, but... You just have to call around. You do not want to be out of a spot. Don't think of just one RV resort, for example. You can call around. The more you call, so get your name out there. If they do have an opening, there's a better chance they're going to...
And the further south you go in Florida, it starts being the busiest there. They'll fill up faster. So maybe jump north if you can a little. Mm-hmm. You might find one to get a better chance.
That will dictate, too, where you work and how far you're willing to drive.
And I think that works a lot for the southern, like Georgia, South Carolina.
They'll start to fill. I'm sure it kind of like Florida being the tip is going to fill up faster, and then it'll probably start to work up the states a little bit. But again, depends on where you work and stuff. One thing to always keep in mind with RVing is you don't have internet like you standardly would have at your house. So that could be a whole video of its own.
Yeah, you'd think in today's age, internet would be like everywhere, but it's RV parks say they have Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's there, but it ain't.
It's enough Wi-Fi to maybe like have a sensor with Wi-Fi to send you a notification, but you're not going to be streaming Netflix at 720.
Yeah. Or if you work from home like he does, it's not fast enough to do anything for that.
Exactly. Like right now, I'm working remote. I live off my phone's hotspot.
Yeah.
So I got like 30 gig a month. I just use the hotspot for work-related stuff. If I have Zoom meetings, I just actually use my phone, so I'm not using the hotspot. I'm just using my phone data. Put in some headphones, set it up, and that's how I do my meeting.
Like we said, this video is a little miscombobulated, but we're trying to cover everything. Don't forget to ask.
Yeah. So let's just jump past that, because that could be all of its own video. If you guys do want to learn any or know anything like that.
If you're interested more of that side, let us know. We might make a video on that.
Yeah, because we're going to have quite a few RV videos now, because there's a lot to go
Because
through.
the cost of the RV is that's not your only cost.
Oh, yeah.
There's some costs you got to have when you get the RV, so we'll go into that later.
All right, so this RV I got for $39,900 or $40,000. So something I want to tell all of you guys is when you're seeing that price that you see, just tag on $5,000 to $7,000. After that, for taxes, dock fees, tag
insurance.
Fees. Yep, you'll have to insurance. So just keep that in mind. So I got it for $39,900, $40,000. My overall finance price was $47,000.
About $47,000.
About $47,000. I do have the warranty through General RV, so that was like $3,000 and something onto that.
Be careful when you choose those two. I have to say.
Be very picky with the RV warranty.
He got his at General RV. His seems pretty decent. It's got good coverage. It wasn't that expensive. They were nice about it. I got mine through Camping World, and I have to say, they're like predatory when it comes to their extended warranties. Super expensive. And they push it down they push it hard.
Get the warranty.
They must get big bonuses from that stuff. So be leery of Camping World when you're trying to do that. I mean, I do like Camping World. There's a bunch I don't. Another video again. But, it is, be careful with those.
There's a lot of videos on Camping World. I'm sure you can find those out.
And we'll go back to his thing for the price. He did put some money down.
Yeah, I put some money down to get that loan, but being younger, you're going to expect that.
How much was it you put down?
$5K.
$5K down. So it does help reduce the overall cost. So the bank likes that better.
Yeah, ideally, I didn't want to because I knew there was going to be cost associated with moving into this full time. But I was like, if it's got to be done, I needed to get the camper. I was kind of.
I think the bank wanted you to have some skin in the game.
So pretty much. They're just like, we don't know if we trust
this
kid.
He can come up with $5,000. He'll be able to make payments. So.
Yeah. So you got that, as I said, like $3,800. I think of that was the warranty, but I have the warranty for 3 years. If after the first year I want to opt out of that warranty, I can get credited back for 2 years. So
yeah,
I'll see how that goes. I would recommend, depending on the warranty, your skill set and everything to get the warranty if it's a good one for a used camper anyway. There's a few things that can go wrong.
You don't have to go with just the ones the dealer have. There are third-party RV insurance people, so keep that in mind.
And then added on to that price immediately, you're gonna have to get insurance. So you full-time insurance, living full-time is gonna cost you more. I mean, as you could imagine. If you do it part-time, it's usually not too bad. I think insuring this was like $40 a month.
Is that $400 a year total or something?
Yeah, it's cheap. And then if you have, let's say like Geico or something, and you have a car policy too, you'll get the multi discount, which makes it a little bit cheaper. But again, that's not too expensive. So
just make sure you have the right coverage for the kind of living you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing it for 6 months out of the year, you're not full time, so you won't need the same coverage.
Yeah, exactly. Just be good about that. You don't want any problems.
That's another question.
I'm not telling you what to do.
Yeah, you're living in an RV full time in Florida. You know, there's hurricanes, so there's that worry, especially for us.
Yeah.
We weren't used to that at all, so well, at least I have. Well, yeah, at least I have. I've been through one tropical storm, minor hurricane, but
nothing crazy.
Wasn't crazy. So there are places you can go. They'll let you know when to evacuate. It's not as bad. I mean, if you get a 4 or 5, then you start freaking out. But
yeah, I would imagine because you're in a trailer.
Yeah, you won't be in here if that's happening. They'll evacuate you anyway.
So jumping from that insurance, not too bad. Payment wise, so with my $5,000 down, keep in mind I have GAP and the warranty. So together it's $372 a month. You could knock that down $20 to $25 if you didn't have the warranty and GAP, but for like $20 more, I would much rather have the GAP insurance and the warranty, especially getting a used RV. Like if an AC goes out, you're covered. If you get a leak, you're covered.
Especially if you're new to RVing, you're not going to have the
knowledge
of what to do. We're a little handy, so we can fix some things, but for you new people, there's a lot of stuff you're not going to understand. That insurance will help you a lot.
And keep in mind too that like if you weren't living in here full time and you had a problem, and you can go back to your house and get it fixed in time. We live in these full time, so you don't want to your AC goes out, it's 90 degrees, and you're stuck in a tin box. You want to not be limited by funding. You just want somebody to want somebody to come out and get that fixed pronto.
Well, that is kind of a pressing thing here in Florida. They know that's like emergency situation, so they're out pretty quick.
So again, payment. So you throw in that $372. You throw in your insurance. I'm $400 a month.
Which, well, okay, you got $400 a month for your RV. Now, what's your lot rent?
Well, lot rent will again adjust depending on the time of year, how far. Of course, if you're near Tampa, it's going to be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I think mine right now is $600 a month, all utilities included besides electricity.
And I would say that's probably average for the summertime, $600.
Yeah. Again, so it will vary what park you go to. Some of them you'll find cheaper. Some of them are more expensive. It really depends what you have.
And I think your electric could be $120 a month.
Roughly. In the summertime.
Depends where you keep your air conditioner.
I keep the AC at like between like 76, and then like at night I'll put it to 80 just because I'm sleeping. I'll turn the AC on in the bedroom a little bit lower so I'm not cooling this entire area. So what?
About $1,100.
Yeah, I mean,
1092, so say $1,100.
And keep in mind that's $1,100 a month. And like looking at an apartments down here, I was over $2,000, and like I do live with my girlfriend, so like I can split some of this. So like
so you're saving like $1,000 over that because the one apartment you're looking at was $2,200.
Yeah, and no utilities. So I still have to pay the electric, the water, garbage.
$1,500 a month.
Yeah, so you can see the savings just right off the bat. Winter will go up for a lot. You can't really help it down here in Florida. It's the snowbirds come down, so these lots will go up in price. That's why I said plan early and lock yourself in at a cheaper rate. If you're trying to do this stuff monthly, it can get expensive. I'm talking in some of the heavy months. If you were just renting for a month, you're looking at like $1,300-$1,400 just for the lot rent.
Yeah, it goes back to that planning ahead. Like when I first did it, I didn't know about the busy season down here. Mm-hmm. I came down here right in busy season.
Yeah.
And I was coming down, and I thought I was going to live in a state park for, 2 weeks at a time, jump sites. But then the week before I was on a list, somebody called me, so I got lucky. But that won't happen most of the time. But yeah, don't be afraid too. If you're calling these lots and they're filled, if they have a waiting list, put your name on it. People do cancel all the time.
Yeah, you guys didn't. I mean, I was at this. I'm at this RV resort, and I didn't have a winter spot set up. I'd go there every 2-3 days. Hey, you got any openings? And then eventually, well, I do have the advantage of being younger, so they, as soon as I walk in, they know exactly who I am because I'm probably one of the youngest ones here that actually have a lot. But like, I had one of the ladies at the front counter actually called me. Oh, we have an opening, so and so. Would you like to put a deposit down? Yes, deposit for lots too. Depends on how long you're trying to book it for. I know for my few months that I planned out for the summer months that I'm here right now, it was like a $500 deposit that goes towards your first month when you get here, so it's not like you're losing out anything.
Yeah.
So it basically covers your first month, so you're good.
And a lot of these resorts are like full service. He gets the cable. They do have Wi-Fi, but it's not great.
Wi-Fi.
They got a pool, a clubhouse.
Yep.
They got a little store, everything here.
Yeah, so with your lot rent, you got the water, you have the sewage, you have garbage, so there's dumpsters there, so you can take your garbage up. So,
Laundry.
They also, they do the mowing, they spray insect repellent around, so you don't have to worry about that. Leaf blow after they mow, weed whack, everything's very nice. So you're not paying HOA fees.
Yeah, and you don't have to do any of that yourself. So
yeah, so you're set. You can't really beat it. Anything else you want to add here? Oh, part 2, I guess, would be the cost associated with the RV after you get it, especially if you're moving in here full time.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need a drink for that one.
Oh, yeah.
There are some. It's still not. It's not terrible, but you want to spend a little money up front. If you're doing it full time, there are some of those. I call them splurge items because you're in here every day. That bed in these things are terrible.
Let me tell you, when I first got here, I was on that bed for one night and actually went to Walmart the next day to get an air mattress to set on there until I could get another mattress.
It's like sleeping on a dish sponge. It's terrible. I mean, you might as well just tell the people when you get the RV, take it out.
Yeah.
You're not going to want it.
So I think for the initial investment, like all through Amazon, I think it was like $500. So that was like wheel chocks, sewage hose, the power inverter, surge protector. Those are going to be very important. I would highly recommend you invest the money now on a good one rather than having a shoddy one, because these good ones have lifetime warranties, so you're a little bit more covered. And I know at least the one I have, if the voltage in the park does go down, it will kind of shut the power off to your RV instead of it letting it run at a lower voltage, which can damage all your stuff.
You have a lot of electronics, and they're sensitive to that voltage shift. So.
Yeah, so I'd much rather have the power go out for like 5 minutes while it resets and waits until it's got the proper voltage, rather than my AC dying because it didn't have enough.
A lot of that does depend on your budget. If you don't have the budget up front, you can go with the $89 surge protector. At least you got to have something on there.
Yeah,
But if you got it, buy it up front, you'll be happy with it.
Yeah, so hoses, all that kind of stuff.
Water filter.
Wheel chocks, pressure regulators, the elbow.
Pretty much all the things that get you hooked up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everything that gets you hooked up and start living.
We got those things that go between the wheels.
The X-chocks.
Yeah, the X-chocks. Some of you don't technically need that to start, but I just wanted to make the initial investment right off the back, so I knew that the transition was going to be smooth and I had everything I needed. So I think that was like $5-ish.
Yeah, about $500.
$500, and then shortly after I got the mattress, a few things here and there, dehumidifiers.
Well, the mattress is a
pretty big chunk of money. Dehumidifiers, a few other miscellaneous things. So I'd say probably cut yourself off like an extra $800 to $1,000, depending on like what surge protector you get, right when you move in to make that transition nice. So get yourself a nice Amazon Prime card, get yourself some cash back, and order all that stuff. You're gonna thank me later.
100%.
For the setup stuff. And do keep in mind the first few, probably week or two of you actually living in your RV, you're gonna find things you need. I mean, little adapters for your outlets so you have more plugs in one, because RVs don't fully have enough plugs sometimes.
Not really for today's stuff, no.
Yeah, so small things like that. We have like with the water cooler kind of thing, just for some fresh water. You put the 5-gallon jug in there. There's a whole bunch of things. The other big thing that I know he'll recommend is slide toppers.
Oh, 100%. If yours don't have it, get it.
I'm working on it.
If you have the money up front, have them do it at the RV place. I mean, if you have that, if you can put it in.
Yeah, we have a video where we actually put them on yours.
If you were thinking about doing it, yeah, we do have a video. Maybe we can leave a link to that somewhere.
Yeah, I'll leave a card or something to that.
And the newer RVs are already pretty much set up for putting them on, so it's really not that hard. You can do it yourself, save a lot of money. Yeah,
I'm working on it, but right now I'm in the process of getting another job, so I don't want to fully put out some more money. I want to, have to have that security. So my next big purchase will be the slide toppers to put on here. It's just safer. If it rains harder, just protects the top of your slide so water doesn't pile up and come through your seals.
The number one enemy in any RV is water.
Water.
That's why the dehumidifiers, doing the slide toppers, check your roof often. Water will kill an RV in no time.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of videos. Again, he has a good chunk of knowledge, and then I kind of learn it from him. If you're new to RVing, I highly recommend going to Facebook, joining some actual full-time RVing.
That's a good point, yeah.
Full-time RVing pages. I mean, some of them get a little feisty. Some people get a little.
You got to weed out the trolls. There's some on there.
Yeah, but there is some very useful information on there that will help you. And then I'm not afraid to ask a quick question. I mean, I had like a creak in the floor. I'd walk by a spot. I was like, why is this creaking? I was in a Keystone Facebook group, and then I put that on there, put the video. Within like 10 minutes, I had 3 people or 4 people respond. Nope, that's normal. I have avalanche, or I have this year, and it creaks. You just get used to it. One guy was like, I paid to have it fixed. A month later, it came back. I'm like, okay, well, clearly it's not catastrophic.
And that goes to say that's part of the adjustment of living in an RV. If you've been in a house, you got all the space. Living in a smaller space is an adjustment. Or if you had a bunch of stuff and you don't have access to it as much or something, that's the big adjustment.
I have probably 90% of the stuff I owned. I have a little bit of stuff in storage, but
Right, you didn't have that much yet.
Yeah, I think I have like a desk, a big safe, and a few other miscellaneous boxes of stuff that I was like, I don't need to bring with me.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider too. Space that's probably the only downside to fifth wheels. I mean, they're a lot better than they used to be. Like, at least this one has a lot of space. It's not like I feel...
And like his girlfriend said, it's easier to clean.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Smaller space. You don't have as much to clean up.
Yep, 15 to 30 minutes. You do your dishes, clean off your counters. You're pretty much done. You have 2 rooms. Your kitchen, living room are put together, and then you have a bedroom and a bathroom. And the bathroom, it's not like it's ginormous.
These things have everything you need. I mean, we've got 50-inch flat screen, air conditioning, the works. I mean, it's like a house. It really is, but you're saving $1,500 a month.
And keep in mind, if you do purchase your own, it's completely customizable. It's yours. So, for example, if I wanted to take out the love seat and put a desk, since I remote work or something, I can do it. I have the ability to modify anything I want. And that was also something nice with having an RV rather than renting a place. If you're renting and it's not exactly what you want, you can't really alter somebody else's stuff.
Yeah, no.
But now it's just like, I'm set. And then I also have the ability to where I'm not locked to a lease
or a location. If you wanted to pick a location, you just hook
on. Yeah, I could be in Florida and be like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Texas, and it's not like I'm like, oh, gotta wait till my lease runs out or quit, try to back out of my lease contract and do all this. I legitimately could either ask him.
It would be easier to go somewhere else too with the amount of money you're saving.
Exactly.
You'd have money to do it.
I could have him pull it. I could have a company do it. So I guess a big thing I want to say too with that money you're saving, just keep a little rainy day fund. You never know what's going to happen, and it's good to have a little bit of cash on hand.
Yeah, put a little bit of that money you're saving away. Plus the extra money allows you to do more things. I mean, you can go more places, check out more stuff. It's especially in Florida, you're not in your rig a lot. You're boating, kayaking, fishing, swimming, going to the beach. There's lots to do down here. So.
And when you are in here, you're comfortable. You have all the amenities of a traditional house. As you saw from the previous video, again, if you haven't watched it, check it out. There's a lot of space in here. I mean, I remote work, and I can come to this table, set a laptop up here, easily work, have some snacks, or I can go work right on the couch. I still have the TV. It's comfortable. You have the air conditioner in here. I'm happy.
I mean, this video is more tailored towards the younger people trying to do it, but I mean, if you are a family wanting to do it also, the rig will get smaller if you got a family of 5 or something, but
Yeah, but again,
there are RVs that have bunkhouses and stuff that make that a little more...
Do keep in mind that there's a wide range of layouts. I mean, there was one we were looking at when the Sanibel didn't work, that like as soon as you walked in, it had its own like desk office room.
Yeah, it was nice.
Like it of course, it's like, yeah, it just wasn't in the location where...
I know it.
I think it was in Ohio or something.
Yeah, up north there.
Yeah,
they want to bring it down, we asked.
Yeah, but I think that... Anything else? You got a nice notebook, is there?
Yeah,
I think
we
I hit
pretty
most
much
of the
covered
topics.
it. That's why I said this is going to be all over the place, but we're trying to cover everything. I'm sure some of you guys will have questions. Like we said, hit us up down below.
If you made it to this point in the video,
we thank you.
You're a true fan.
But if you are thinking about doing this, that's who we're tailoring this to.
As long as we help one of you.
Yeah, we can give you all the insight. More so him. I mean, I was here, but that's him doing it. I did it. If you got a question for how to do it for older people, I did that. I did it first, so he did it as a younger person, which is the odd part. A lot of people his age don't.
But it's actually just great too, because coming from a younger age, you don't have a lot of material possessions. It's not like I was loaded with couches and beds and dressers. I mean,
it's a commitment anyway. If you are old and you have a bunch of stuff, you're going to sell it off. But the question I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask you is, how do you like it now that you've been doing it for a while?
I mean,
it's not long. It's a month in, but how do you feel
I
about it?
love it. I'm not like, I don't have to worry about doing a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have to worry about mowing. I mean, I have to do some preventative stuff, proactive, seal the roof, make sure there's no leaks or anything like that. But that's all stuff you should do anyway with an RV. As he was saying, water is the downside. So I'm definitely more proactive than probably most RV owners at my age. Like, I'm up on that roof probably once a week, just take a quick look.
I think that's a lot, because I told him that over and over. Always check for the water.
Yep, I go probably, I'd say about every week. I'll do like my own little checklist in my head. So make sure things are siliconed.
Yep.
If I see any water could possibly get in, always check the roof. So it's easier, and as I said, the space is comfortable. It's kind of nice. Some people don't like the fully small. I kind of like it. Everything you need is all here.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, I'm sure it won't be at his age, it ain't going to be a lifelong thing, but, he'll eventually...
But the money I save, I could just go straight up buy a house outright. You just do it for a few years.
Especially down here, it allows you to live in an area where there's more, like if you're into that, more jobs, more activities, more nightlife, or whatever you're looking for, at a lower cost.
Yeah,
that you might not otherwise be able to get into.
Yeah, and I'd say the only thing that has been driving me a little bit crazy, but it's not horrible, is not having internet. I'm used to like high-speed internet, so.
Come on, Elon Musk, you gotta hurry up, be faster with that.
If you could get that Starlink.
We need the Starlink down here in Florida.
Like pronto. But that would probably be my only complaint right now. Everything else, I just feel like I'm at home.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. So.
And I'm in a gated RV resort. It's
you got
quiet
the security
here.
Too.
Exactly. I have the clubhouse I can go to. I have access to a pool. Like everything I need's here. I don't have a washer and dryer in here, but maybe in time I'll decide.
Yeah, I didn't get one of mine either yet, but I'm thinking about it.
I don't know. We'll
it's a
see.
big purchase.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing too with being younger. It's not like I have an account with $100,000 where I just go out and buy stuff. A lot of this is like, okay, let's save up for a little bit.
Yeah, and us coming from the Northeast, we don't have to deal with plowing snow raking, shoveling, all that stuff we have to deal with. A lot of it's taken care of here. We don't do nothing.
Yeah, that's what I said. Everything's handled. I don't.
So now you got more time for yourself.
Exactly. I like it.
Get out there and try something new, right?
Yeah.
Like we like to say all the time in our videos, try something new.
Yeah.
Down here you can.
If you are used to having some space, at least property, there, sometimes it's not as great. I can't fully do the car work that we used to do. I mean, we don't have all the tools here. Some RV resorts are kind of specific about what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
They want to keep like an image up. They don't want to see broke down cars without tires and stuff. So
that goes to the point of there are downsides to it too.
I think the pros highly outweigh the cons. No doubt about it. Otherwise, I'd be like hating life right now, but I'm having a great time.
For us though, like if you're not one that doesn't work on your own car, it's no big deal. You take it somewhere anyway, but that's something we usually do. So not being able to as easily is a challenge.
So maybe if the channel can make a bunch of money, we can buy a small little piece of property.
Maybe we can buy a little shop. We can do more videos out of for you guys. So.
Yeah, if you guys want to see the hydrogen things and car stuff, we appreciate it. So I think that sums
Yeah, I
up
think
this
we
video.
covered.
This
we
probably
covered
like
about it.
40-minute long video at this
It's
point.
probably getting a little long, but I think that covers all that somebody would need to know to start this out.
Yeah. I'm thinking about editing this now. I'm probably right at the start going to make a little black card that comes up that has oh, you want to hear about this? Go to this time slot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just to try to
timestamp.
save you guys some time.
But to get it all, we appreciate you watching it all first. But if you did make it to this point, you're a trooper, man. Appreciate
love
it.
you.
Yeah, we love you, man. Thanks. Yeah, like we said, hit that post notifications.
Oh, you gotta subscribe too. So
Of course.
If you're feeling generous, hit the subscribe button.
If this helped you at all, or
Slap the
anything,
bell. Yeah. Hit the like.
Yeah.
If you have any comments, please just put them down below. Do not be shy.
we get to literally every one of them right at
single
this point.
comment. I will slap a heart on there. Hit you a thumbs up if it's something that
Slap
didn't
a
hit
what on there?
A little heart.
Heart,
So they
okay.
know I heart react.
Kind of sounded funny.
Oh.
Slap a heart on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to all of them.
Yeah. And
one way or another.
I'd love to answer your questions. And
We'd like-
hopefully I can get some of you guys that were on the fence or thinking about it to kind of just jump over.
Yeah, if
Take the plunge if
it
you're
does
in
take
a
a little
spot.
planning, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Just like moving an apartment's going to take planning.
Especially when I'm not used to that. It'd take adjusting too.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So with that being said, guys, we hope this helped you out. And till next time, try something new.
a little bit of everything.